every blockchain got at least 2 launchpads for new tokens. And for example, in case of Terra Luna, it is Starterra and Pylon Gateway, but most of the blockchains like Ethereum, Binance, Solana, and list go on, got at least 2 launchpads. And which of them is the safest? I'm not sure, but I know that Pylon seems to be quite safe. Let's dive in. And as always, that's not investment advice, that's just my experience with the Pylon platform, and you should do your own research before putting any money there. So almost every blockchain got its own launchpad to launch new tokens. In most cases, there are at least 2 per blockchain. And in terms of Terra Luna, I know 2. So Starterra and Pylon Gateway. But almost every blockchain got at least 2 launchpads. Some of them got much more, but some of the launchpads are kinda scammy, or they are actually scams. General rule of the launchpad is that you have to use their own token, and you have to either stake their own token, or you have to use their own token to buy the tokens which are launched there. But in most cases, it is like in Starterra example. You can see video about Starterra here on here. It is the case that you have to stake their own token. So in the case of Starterra is STT, and then you can buy the token which is launched at the either launch price or the discount price with your stablecoin in most cases. But you have to stake this platform coin at least at the time when the IDO is taking place, so like a week or 2. And for some platforms, it is that you have to stake it for a year even. During this year, the exchange rate of this launchpad can drop, and you can lose a lot of money, although it can also rise. But it depends on many conditions, so there is a risk you may lose all staked coins because the price would drop to 1 cent or to 0, basically. But it seems there is a platform which do not have this model, and basically you stake there your stable coins, in this case UST, and then you forfeit your interest from this coin you would normally get in Anchor. So this is in the Terra Luna environment, Terra Luna blockchain, and basically you buy UST, you stake your UST there, and your interest is redirected to the Pylon, and basically at the end is redirected to the token platform which is launched there. So actually the people who are launching the token, they are getting your interest from your UST. You do not get any interest, but you got some other benefits there. In most cases, you don't need to stake Pylon Gateway governance token, which is mine. You don't have to stake it, although you can get some benefits, and for each launch there might be few pools and you can get some benefits. Maybe we can see this as an example. This is the Pylon Gateway page when you can connect your wallet and then you can deposit in any project you want. I guess not all the projects are worth investing here. There are some trash projects, I guess, but I haven't seen any scams yet. So to participate in the project, you have to choose the pool you want to deposit, and then you just deposit your UST. There is a small fee we probably would get through this process if my UST would go to my wallet. It's processing somewhere, but generally in most cases you just deposit, like here you just deposit your UST and then you gain some tokens, and APR, predicted APR is here. For example, for this token, the predicted APR at the beginning of the project has been much higher, but since the price of the mine token dropped, then the APR is dropping from the start of the project. So at the moment it is still better than if you put your money in Anchor, because if you put your UST into Anchor, you got around 20%, it's 19.5 more or less, and this would probably drop. But as I said, you don't need to put anything else, but some pools which got additional gains, you're able to get something more, but you need to get additional tokens staked. So for example, here you need 500 mine, which is like less than $50 at the moment, and 50 Valkyr, which is I think less than $10 at the moment, but maybe I'm mistaken, I haven't checked the price. But then you got higher APR, and in some cases you got additional airdrops, so it depends. But in each pool you are just vesting your UST, so that means that if I put my money here, I won't be able to remove my deposit for next 6 months, but it is actually from 6 months from when this pool started. And I got some deposits here in 2 pools, so in this pool I can actually start claiming the rewards, but it is not worth it at the moment. And I could start claiming the rewards on 13th of September, and I can remove my initial deposit on the 29th of December this year. And for the other pool, I can start claiming rewards on 29th of December, but my initial deposit is frozen till end of June almost. So I joined more or less 3 months after the launch. So that's the reality of this. And I'm part of 3, let's call them IDOs here, and I never had to do KYC, but I heard that for some the KYC would be required. So there are some without the KYC, and some IDOs would need KYC. Meantime, we can go through my investments on the Pylon. So I guess I would share my first, or number 0, update on the IDOs, how much I gained or how much I lost, although it's almost not possible to lose here unless something bad happens. I would discuss that later. But so I'm part of the governance token IDO, so I'm part of these 2 pools, as you can see here, and so far I got that many mine tokens in that pool and that many tokens in that pool, plus I got 11 before, which I withdrawn just for the test. So I got my trusty calc. This is actually the mine pool investment. So I put some money on 29th of September, then some on 4th of October and 7th of October, and at the end I got that much locked. And today, which is 25th of November, I got that much of the rewards. The snapshot was taken today in the morning, and then the price of the mine token is like that in USD. That means I got that much dollars. So current API after like almost 2 months, I'd say, is 5%. Not bad. So I earned 5% by these 2 months, and it also depends on the price, because the price has been steadily dropping. It started around 32 cents as far as I remember, then it dropped to 7 cents lately, but my team has bought back some mine tokens and they restake it in the platform. That means that they adjusted the price, and price went up by 1 or almost 2 cents, which is actually good. So there is no much pressure on the platform token, the Pylon platform token, for people to buy it, except those pools which got additional rewards, and also you can stake it to gain some additional mine, and when you stake it you get airdrops. The airdrops were introduced like a few days ago, so there is additional pressure for people to buy the token, and it seems that airdrops ain't that bad because they were introduced a few days ago and I already got like $2 in airdrops. So it's like here, and I got that much of the staking rewards, but it is actually from the next line I would share, and the next line is my staked mine. I staked 100 because there was something I don't even remember. I think that was Apollo farming, so I staked 1000 of the mine. And then I staked it in the mining farm, Apollo farm, blah blah blah. It is irrelevant. But actually, but actually my dollar cost average when I bought it was 15 cents, so I got like 41% loss here, but it's not very big loss since I paid like 150 bucks, probably less, because some of mine tokens I got from the IDO, and also some of them were staking rewards. So I think I spent like 120, and now it is 89 bucks. But still, I got a loss here. And then I got some predictions regarding the price of the token. So I know that I would get more or less 12,000 of mine tokens. I think I'm quite conservative here, so I think it would be, the price at the end would be 1 cent when I'm able to withdraw all the rewards. So end of June 2022. So my predicted USD value would be around 120 bucks. That means I would get 4%. It's still more than what I would get keeping that money in a bank, but that do not account any fees that I paid on the way. And there were some fees. Whenever you stake your USD on the platform, you pay around 48 cents, so probably around 50 cents. And there is also tax in Terra Luna environment, so I paid around $3 per staking, but the tax depends on the amount you stake, so it is between $2 and $3. It is the case that fees can pile up, so that can be significant, especially if you deposit smaller amounts. Then I have deposited into the Loop pool, and Loop is the platform which is supposed to be the pancake swap of Terra Luna environment. Although you can already swap on Terra Swap, and you can already swap within the station wallet, so that does not have that much of the potential. Although they got some farms, they got some airdrops, some additional things. So there is small potential there, but I wouldn't say it's very promising project. Although that was one of the first projects on the platform, so I put some 2k bucks there. There is a small chance it would be another pancake, and the price of the token would be like few bucks, $3, $10, maybe $20 after a few years. So it is possible, although it dropped because they also given some tokens to early bidders, some investors and stuff like that. So the early price was around 90 cents as far as I remember, and it already dropped to 14. So APR in that pool was more than 100% at the beginning, maybe even 200%. I should take a screenshot, but I forgot. And at the moment, I'm in the 12 months pool. That means that I can withdraw my money August 2022, main deposit, and I can start getting rewards in 2 months, basically, on 9th of February 2022. And actually, to claim your rewards, you also pay a fee. When I tried it, it was again 50 cents, so not that much, but it depends. If your rewards are worth like $10, it's not that viable to withdraw them. I guess you have to wait till the price is right. But the caveat is that when the rewards are going to be claimable, a lot of people would withdraw them and sell them. That means that probably on that day the price of the token would drop. That's my prediction, and you can, and my guess is based on that for some pools people already claiming their tokens and they are selling them. So there would be a big amount of tokens available on that day, and probably a lot of people would sell them. And for example, for the mine token, it seems that the staked amount of the token is kind of constant. So seems that, so if we come back here, you can go and trade mine, and here you get information how much the price actually increased. That's nice. So you can see how much of the token is staked, and usually it was around 33%, so that means that only 1/3 is staked and the rest is sold. There is some mine in the liquidity pool, but it seemed that most of the tokens from the rewards were sold, so 2/3, maybe at least half. So that's why the price was steadily dropping. But now it seems that the price rising because of the buyback from the Pylon platform people. Actually, So it's a good sign, but I'm not sure that the price rise would be sustained. We'll see. And they introduced airdrops, so actually I can claim the tokens I got here, but it's not viable since they award like $2.50, which means I would pay $0.50 to withdraw them. It is not a viable option. So I would leave them and claim them in the future. They say that you can claim them whenever you want, so they would wait here indefinitely. And as I said, I got some mine staked. So I can actually update this, that the price is 96, then the APR gets better, so I got like more than 6%, but I'm still, I still got loss in the staked thing. And my third pool I have joined is Terra World. The project is kind of weird. I'm not sure it's just only NFT, because I read the documentation and I cannot judge by the documentation how actually it works. But the APR is quite nice, and seems there's a big hype about this token, so I put some deposit there. That was the only amount I could afford. And at the moment it is 4.6%, but I joined there like 15 days ago, which means I got this 4% during these 15 days. So not bad. And it's actually $60. Not a great amount, but still I'm in plus here. So that's the reality, and I guess I would do monthly update on each of these deposits in the future. So you can stay tuned, subscribe, and see how good or how bad are these investments. And here I got the predictions for each of them. So I know how much more or less I will get, because when you stake, you got the information how much more or less you will get. Although it might change since there is a fixed amount for each pool. So when you check the details, there is a fixed amount of tokens, and whenever people add additional deposit, I think that the ratio you get the rewards is getting lower. So it is also the number of tokens is some guesstimation from the platform. I doubt I will get that much, although it will be quite close since I have joined later and not many people joined after me. But there are my predictions for the price, and all the predictions are quite conservative. Might be the case that, for example, this is worth $1, which means I would get that much money and the APR would be 100%. But I doubt it actually, but might be the case it would be. And those are my predictions for each project I'm in. And what other projects are there? This one is quite interesting. You can participate in UST peg arbitrage, so the project is quite interesting, although it seems it is really early stage. There is no platform, there is only documentation and a website, so it might be quite risky to join it, although you don't lose your deposit, which is a plus on this platform. That's the main plus. You only lose your interest you could get if you put the same amount of the stablecoin of the UST into the Anchor platform. So you lose something, but it is something you may lose or may not lose. It depends if you would put your money into Anchor. But this project is quite interesting. This is a game, NFT based. I'm not sure what is it exactly. I've seen a live stream from the development team and it doesn't seem very promising, but maybe I'm wrong. But I'm not participating in this directly, but since I got my mine staked, I'm taking part in a draws, so might be the case I would get some rewards here just by the mistake, because I got my mine staked. So I got like 10 tickets, and might be the case that I would be part of the draw, but the total stake is that much, so I got really small chance to be a lucky winner. This one is also promising. I'm planning to join this one soon, but I need to get some UST in my wallet to be able to join this. And this is actually the DeFi platform, which is cross-chain, so it is on Ethereum, Binance, I think, and also Terra. At the beginning, they said you can get 25% APR or API even, but then I think they changed to 20%, which is still quite nice compared for CeFi's like Nexo or Celsius. especially in the Ethereum environment. I haven't seen the platform which got better APRs on stable coins. So that's the quite promising project. Although the APR in the pool is not that promising, but since the project itself seems to have a value and seems to have utility, might be the case that the price of this token would raise, but it won't raise more than 5 times. That's my prediction. So you have to decide. But also this token got utility. So if you want to be part of this Orion server program, you got additional APY if you got this token also. So it got some utility and the platform seems to be a good idea. Galactic Punks, I'm not a big fan of the NFTs, but still, since I got staked mine, I'm participating in that just by mistake. I got 10 tickets and I might be drawn and I might get the Galactic Punk NFT assigned to my wallet. This one I quite don't understand, and this one I'm not sure. I checked all of them and I decided not to take part in it. And I'm part of the Terra World, Loop and Mine. And from the upcoming ones, Kujira seems to be really promising because you can buy back the liquidations from Anchor and there is a price you can get like instant 4 or 5% or 0.5%, but this is instant. Whenever the loan on Anchor is liquidated, you got a chance to buy Biluna, and this seems quite promising, although you probably need much more money than I got to be able to get reasonable yield there. The Prism looks very promising, and at the end might be the case that Prism would be also part of the Pylon Gateway. It's quite complicated. They want to split each asset in Terra Luna into the yield element and principal element, and you will be able actually to deposit these assets into Pylon Gateway. Not only, but that's one of the options. So you'll be able to deposit it here, and they would gain the interest element, and you will sustain your principal. So it looks promising. It also looks kinda crazy and complicated. I read the documentation, and it's a bit weird, but it is promising, I'd say. So might be the case that Prism, Kujira, and YUA together, they would create really promising environment for Terra Luna and blockchain. So there are big possibilities, but might be the case that each of the project flops and then you won't get nothing. But actually the utility this 3 project promise is quite impressive, I'd say. So might be the case they are worth looking into. And I'm not very interested in NFTs, although there is a chance you can get a lot from NFTs. Not sure why it's still listed here, because it's available. And yes, those other projects, you should do your own research and see if this is interesting. I'm not sure. I read all the documents for each of the projects and haven't found most of them very entertaining and very promising, although White Whale, Kujira and Prism are really promising, so that might be a thing to consider to deposit into these projects. And I've seen Kujira has been also listed on Startera, but since my experience with Startera is not that good, I said I would wait until it is listed here on Pylon Gateway. So that's the reality of this launchpad. So actually seems not that risky, although it's not risk-free. So what risks are there? I see at least 3 risks. So the main risk is inflation, because if you froze your UST, you're basically freezing your US dollars, and it is losing value. And actually lately inflation is quite big. So within a year you can lose like 7 to 10% of your buying value of this USD or UST. So that element, I'd say, that would happen for sure, I'd say. So even though you're not losing any UST, maybe except small fees, you're still losing value of the investment because of the inflation. So that's the risk connected with this kind of the deposits. And in some cases you got it locked for 18 months in the pools with the highest APRs. That means at the end, if the project flops, your rewards are worth nothing and value of the deposit is dropping. What are other risks? So there is also a risk that the Pylon Gateway platform would die. It could be hacked or it could be abandoned, and then might be the case that you are not able to remove your deposits from the smart contract, because if there is no platform, you cannot actually trigger the action to remove the deposit. I guess the risk is small, even though if the platform flop, probably the Terra community or the Terra blockchain owners would take care of this, so you would be able to recover your deposits, and especially that they are created via Anchor, so it seems that the risk is small, although there is still such risk. But if the platform is hacked, and for example the smart contract is buggy, then might be the case that you may lose all your deposits and you won't be able to recover them. So that's the risk. I guess the smart contract and the platform has been somehow validated and audited, but it's hard to say. I think I've seen something in the documentation that it was audited or is planned to be audited, but there is always a risk that it could be hacked, or the smart contract is buggy, or smart contract is malicious. There were some problems with the platform. For example, for some time I haven't been able to see my deposits. They were not listed. Whenever I clicked here, I got information here that I have not any deposits, or there was a time when the claim button haven't been working, or there was a time when the number of rewards haven't been listed. So it is still buggy and it's still early stage, but at least the rewards are there. And lately, during like 2 weeks, the staking rewards haven't been compounding. So, but I'm not sure they made up for the lost weeks or not, but I got like 15 mine lately. So maybe for sure it's fixed, but I'm not sure I got my compounded rewards back. But it's a really small amount, so it doesn't matter, although it shows that the platform is still buggy and there are some problems with the platform. And I guess the biggest risk connected with such deposits and the way the Pylon works is actually how UST is pegged to the US dollars. Because UST is actually algorithmic stablecoin, so it is not stable because it's a pegged coin. It's pegged via Oracle like some other coins, and it's not actually directly backed up by the USD. So there might be a case, if there is a big pressure on the market, that the price of the USD would drop and would be unpegged. And in that case, it could drop to 1 cent or to 0 cents, and you would lose your whole deposit. So there is a small risk. As far as I know, there was a situation like that already once, and the owner of the inventor of Starterra environment, the Starterra platform, has put $50 million into the platform to keep the peg. So I'd say that there is a risk, and I think from all the risks I listed, this is the biggest one, that if there is a panic on the market and people would like to sell their USD for fiat, might be the case that peg would be broken and the USD won't be worth $1 anymore, and you may lose your deposits. Although probably, even if that happens, that would be repegged in the future via the algorithm or via the help of platform owners. But there is a risk related to that, so you have to be aware of all the risks, even though it seems almost riskless platform, and for sure it is the lowest risk from all the launchpads, at least the launchpads I know. Maybe there is some launchpad which work the same way, but at the moment Pylon seems to have the lowest risk from all the launchpads I've seen. I think it's worth checking, and of course you have to do your own research regarding the platform itself and regarding all the projects which are listed or the project which will be listed there. But some of them seems very, very promising, so you have to check them. I have managed to transfer my UST to Terra network. It was quite tricky. So actually, originally I got $143 on my bank account. Then I transferred this to Binance, and Binance have eaten 2.3 euros, which is $2.50 as a fee. So I got less. Then I bought USDC, and they claim there is no fee. Might be the case. USDC is a bit less than $1. At least it's like 0.999 something. So I got that much of USDC, and to transfer this to MetaMask I have to pay almost $1. It should be here. Then I swapped it on 1 inch, and that was the total fee, so I had to pay that much of a fee there on 1 inch. Then this is the difference in the exchange rate, and I had to pay 69 cents to allow USDT on 1 inch. This is one-time fee, but this is part of the whole deal. And then to bridge it to Terra, I only paid 12 cents. So the bridging from BSC to Terra is quite cheap. But let's see how was the cost of the whole transition. So to move money from my bank account to Terra, I had to pay almost $7.50, and I transferred that much. So if you assume that was the original amount, that means that I already lost more than 5%. So if you want this in percent, then it is 0.13% is already lost in this simple transaction. That means that my interest is already eaten. But anyway, so now I can deposit this into Pylon, and I'd say I got two choices: Orion or White Whale. I could deposit this also in the mine, but I already got some deposits there. So White Whale got better APR, at least for 18 months, but Orion got 20% in theory for 1 year. So I already lost 5%, so that means that if I deposit here, I would get like 15 if I'm lucky, but there would be also a fee to deposit, so that would be also subtracted. So I probably lose 7%, something like that. We'll see in a second. I'm not quite sure how this token works. I mean, I'm not sure what is the utility. Probably there would be lower fee like in Kujira, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know how the Orion works, so I guess I will deposit here as a demo. Basically, I got 148 USD in my wallet, but this subtracts already the fee, like one. I'm not sure why it's 1 USD, but whatever. But I wouldn't like to put the whole. I sometimes use USD for fees. The more I put, the better is the deal for me. So I will try to put 143 and see how big is the fee here and the tax. So I'm clicking here, and I can see it is 0.845 the tax, and 1.5 is the transaction fee on Pylon. I think it was less before, but maybe I'm wrong. And before, the problem was that was not subtracted from this amount, and this time, at least last time when I tried, that was subtracted from the amount of that was subtracted from the deposit. So I would deposit in around 140 USD, and the rest would be for the. So I would copy that. I assume I would get 28 Orion tokens, which at the moment is around $28, maybe less. I don't know exactly. So I can confirm the deposit, and it seems that actually the fee is added here, but then the tax is added here. So it seems that the tax is added here, but then the fee is subtracted from the deposit. Let's see. And transaction is broadcasted, and it's pending. Terra is actually quite fast, and it's done. And it seems that it actually hasn't been subtracted from the deposit, because at the end 143 USD been deposited here. Anyway, probably my first reward would be within 6 days, but there are no details when I can claim it. Anyway, the most important thing is that I wanted to deposit 143 and the fee and tax were subtracted from my wallet. So if I hadn't got more than 143, this transaction would fail. And I've seen that a lot of people got that problem, that they couldn't deposit here and they didn't know what happened. And lately I've seen that that was subtracted from my deposit actually, and in this case it's not. So you have to be really cautious when you're trying to deposit. You have to leave like $5 or maybe more if your amount is bigger in your wallet, because the fee and the tax would be taken from your wallet. And if you do not have enough for this, the transaction would fail, but the fee would be taken anyway. So that's really important thing here. And I learned it the hard way. I lost like 4 USD before. So I got this deposited. That means I got that much. That's my predicted number. And I deposited that much. I would probably deposit more in the future, but at the moment it's that much. And we'll see how much of the interest it would generate. But let me see what was the actual fee and tax here, because then it's added cost for the transaction, which means deposit to Pylon. It was that much, but I already got some money in my wallet. That's why I got more, and that means the end game fees were that much, and at the end I paid almost 7% already of the fees to just transfer these $140 into the Pylon. So small amounts are not the best option here. It seems that this fee to deposit is always 1.5 USD, at least at the moment, and the tax depends on the amount, so that may vary. I'm not sure there is a cheaper way to put your money from your bank account there. I've seen that KuCoin allow you to buy USD directly and then transfer the USD into your wallet, but I'm not 100% sure it works. I opened the account there, but it was kind of weird, and there are some limits for withdrawals, so I haven't tested it yet. But at the moment I have deposited 143 USD into the Orion pool for 12 months, and I already paid $9 for this, so I'm already in loss. I lost 7% to do it, so now I want to get some interest there. At the moment it's 20%. Might be the case it would be like that, although I doubt it. But if we assume the price, which is now around $1, I would get 19% out of it, minus this 7, which means that the real interest would be like 12, maybe 13%, because it's almost 20. Maybe I should check what is the price at the moment of Orion. Of course, there are 10 Orions. 1.13. Okay, might be the case. It's already up. That means I got a chance for 22%, more or less, minus the 7, so it would be like 15% APR. So after 1 year, I should get 15%, which is that much. That's the only prediction. It could be $1, it could be 60. I don't know, but generally, I guess you shouldn't put like $100 there. It was just for the demonstration, but it's like 1,000 seems to be reasonable. Although you may be lucky and maybe the token you got would be 100x, and even from $100 you can be rich. But generally adopted, it would be probably Maybe some of them would be 5x, maybe there would be some 10x's, and maybe would be some 50x's. It's hard to say. But in the IDOs, you got like 5% of the total supply of the tokens, which means that when they release all the tokens, the price would go down anyway. So maybe long term, for example, Orion could be like $4, maybe $6 like the Nexo token or Celsius token, but we'll see. Anyway, that's how you deposit. It's quite straightforward. If you got USD in your wallet, you just 2 clicks, approval in the wallet, and you're done. And then you can check here how much of the rewards you got accumulated. Anyway, quite straightforward. Although the most important thing is that you have to leave like 5 USD in your wallet to be able to deposit successfully, because the fee and the tax is taken from the wallet, not from the deposit amount. Although it once happened that it was taken from the deposit amount, so it is, maybe it depends on the pool, but in that case, as you have seen, it's taken from the wallet, not from the deposit. So I guess that's it. And as always, that's not investment advice, that's just my experience with the Pylon platform, and you should do your own research before putting any money there. I hope you're doing well. Cheers.